let's take a look at this question. We want to divide x cubed minus 4x squared minus 5 by x minus 3. We're going to take a look at this problem using two different methods. The first one is going to be with long division, and then the second one is going to be with synthetic division. So let's start with the long division process. The first thing you want to do is take a look at your polynomial. You want to make sure it's in descending order, which means your largest exponent piece should come first, and then it should go all the way down. And you want to make sure that you account for any missing terms. So if you take a look at this polynomial, you'll notice that you do not have any x terms in there. So when we go to start this problem, we're going to go ahead and put a placeholder in of 0x, since it's not in there. So let's go ahead and set this one up. We've got x cubed minus 4x squared. We don't have any x terms, so this is where we're going to put the placeholder of 0x, and then we have the minus 5. And we're going to be dividing this by x minus 3. And I have the steps listed down there in that bottom right-hand corner, just so that we have it as reference. And the first thing we want to do is go ahead and divide. So when we perform this step, we're going to be taking our first term here, which is the x cubed, and we're going to be dividing it by the x. If we divide this out, we're going to get x squared. Now we want to go ahead and write that on top of this problem. Obviously you could put it anywhere, but I'm going to try to keep my squared terms all lined up, or my x terms all lined up, etc. So I'm going to go ahead and put this answer x squared above the other x squared terms. Step 2 is going to be to multiply. So we're going to take that answer that we just got, and we're going to go ahead and multiply it by each piece out in front. So x squared times x is going to give us x cubed. X squared times a negative 3 is going to give us a negative 3 x squared. Make sure that your signs are accurate for that step. For the next part, we're going to go ahead and subtract. And I'm going to go ahead and put this inside parentheses because we're going to be subtracting each of those terms. Okay, so watch your signs here. We've got x cubed minus x cubed, which is going to give us 0. So we're going to go ahead and cancel those out. And then we've got a negative 4x squared minus a negative 3x squared. This is going to give us a negative 1x squared. If you make an error, it's probably going to be on that subtraction step, so just make a little note to yourself to go back and double check your signs. Right, our next step is going to be to drop down our remaining pieces. And then I'm going to go ahead and repeat the process. Okay, so I'm going to go back to my step 1, which is a division step. And I'm working with this first term that you see right here. So I've got a negative x squared. And I'm still dividing it by the x that we saw all the way out in front. So this is going to give us a negative x. And that answer here is going to go up on top. Okay. Our next step is going to be to multiply. We're still going to be taking this negative x, and just like before, right, we're going to be multiplying it by both of those things out in front. So we've got negative x times x, which is a negative x squared, and negative x times this negative 3, it's going to give us a positive 3x. So you'll notice that my signs right there are the signs that I got after I did that multiplication step. Right, now we can go ahead and subtract, and we're going to be subtracting this whole quantity. Put my subtraction sign out in front. So we've got negative x squared minus negative x squared. Those should add up to 0, so we're going to cancel each other out. And then we've got 0x minus 3x. This is going to give us a negative 3x. And then for step 4, we can go ahead and drop down our remaining piece here, which is that minus 5. And then we can go ahead and repeat the process again. We'll keep repeating the process until we're not able to divide out anymore. We can actually go one more round here because we've got this negative 3x, and we're still going to go ahead and divide it by this x that you saw up in front. And this is going to give us negative 3. It's going to go up on top. And then we have one more round of multiplication here. We're going to take this negative 3, right, times each of those pieces out in front. So we've got negative 3 times x, which is going to give us a negative 3x. And negative 3 times negative 3 is going to give us a positive 9. And now we can go ahead and subtract that whole quantity. We've got negative 3x minus a negative 3x. Those are going to add up to 0, so we'll go ahead and cancel those out. And we've got negative 5 minus 9, which is going to give us a negative 14. So now our division here is done, so let's talk about the components that we have. This negative 14 that you have here at the end is your remainder. And your quotient which is the same thing as your answer, comes from this information that you had here up on top. Right, so your quotient is x squared minus x minus 3. Right, and we had a remainder of negative 14.